Duke the Lost Engine, written by the Reverend W. Awdry and produced by me, the U.S. Pug. Story 1, Grandpuff. Once upon a time, 3 little engines lived in their own little shed on their own little railway. Duke was brown, Falcon blue, and Stuart green. Duke was the oldest. He had been the first engine on the line, and named after his grace, the Duke of Sodor. He was proud of this title and wanted things just so. If the other engines did anything they shouldn't, he would say, "That would never suit his grace." Other engines came and went, but Duke outlasted them all. Stuart and Falcon used to call him Grandpuff. Duke was fond of them and tried to keep them in order, and they were fond of him too because of how kind and wise he was. But they did get tired of hearing about his grace. Sometimes they'd wink at each other and chant solemnly, "Engines come and engines go, Grandpuff goes on forever."
"You impertinent scallywags,"
Duke would say indignantly.
"Whatever are young engines coming to nowadays?"
"Never mind, Grandpuff, we're only young once."
"Well, you'd better mind, unless you want to end up like number 2.
"Oh, Grandpuff, whatever happened?"
"Number 2, began Duke, "was an American and very cocky. He rode roughly and often came off the rails. I warned him to be careful. 'Listen, bud,' he drawled, 'in the States we don't care a dime for a few spills.' 'We do here,' I said, but he only laughed. But he wasn't laughing long after the manager took away his wheels and said he was going to make him useful at last."
"Why? What did he do?"
"He turned him into a pumping engine, that's what. He's still there, behind our shed."
Stuart and Falcon were unusually good for several days. Then they became useful engines, and all 3 lived happily together for many years. But then hard times came. The mines in the hills closed one by one, and the engines had little to do, until finally their railway was shut down. People came to buy the engines and rolling stock. "We'll take Stuart and Falcon," they said. No one wanted Duke. They thought him too old. "Cheer up, Grandpuff," called Stuart. "We'll find you a nice railway, and then you can come and keep us in order." They laughed bravely as they left, but neither of them thought their dream would come true. Duke's driver and fireman oiled and greased him one last time, sheeted him snugly, and then said goodbye. They had to go away and find work elsewhere. Duke was alone, locked up in his shed.
"Where's his grace?" he wondered. "It's not like him to leave me."
But his grace had died in the war, and the new Duke was a little boy that hadn't heard of his little engine yet.
"Oh well," Duke sighed. "I'll go to sleep. It'll help to pass the time."
Years passed. Winter torrents washed soils down from the hills over the sheds, and trees and bushes grew around it. You wouldn't have known a shed was there, let alone a little engine asleep inside of it. Have you guessed what happened to Stuart and Falcon? You're right. They came to the Thin Controllers Railway and were given new coats of paint and new names. Stuart became Peter Sam, and Falcon Sir Handel. They prefer their new names. That was a very long time ago it was, but they never did forget about Grandpuff, and sometimes they talked about him while they were alone. They were surprised to hear, however, that the Duke was coming to Skarloey and Rhenius' 100th birthday, but were disappointed to see him when he showed up. He was only a man. But that's all I'll say for now, or I might spoil the next story.